Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambattvamanusandatami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Sunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedais Sankapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Dadgatena Manasam Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidusura Sudaganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Namaste everyone once again. So, sloka we were seeing. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vetta parantapa. So we are seeing the fifth shloka of the fourth chapter. So when Lord Krishna said that the Vedic teaching that he was imparting to Arjuna now was the same teaching that he had imparted to Surya Bhagavan at the beginning of the creation, Arjuna naturally has a pertinent question. So he asks, "Hey Krishna, how am I to understand your statement? Because you were born a few decades ago, but Surya Bhagavan was born long ago at the time of creation. So how could you have imparted this teaching to Surya Bhagavan?" And in response to this question, Bhagavan Krishna starts revealing his avatara rahasya. One of the things that we must remember in this particular portion, from a Vedantic point of view, all these Jivatma, Avatara and all are all Mithya. They don't have independent existence. And also this information about Avatara, Krishna having taught Surya Bhagavan, all those things, he remembering all his janmas and all which we have discussed, are all irrelevant so far as Vedanta is concerned. But having said that, if it is only Vedanta in Bhagavad Gita, probably after a few days, no student will be left to conduct these classes. Already Bhagavad Gita is Advaita Vedanta heavy. So in between, Krishna makes the whole topic lighter by sharing some of these interesting things which is mentioned in the Vedas. Purva Bhaga has got all these things. Avatara and all is part of the Purva Bhaga, which is mainly Itihasa, Purana and all deal with these subjects of Avatara and all that. So it's more of a relief, in film and all that, when we see the movies, there's an intense scene is there, very taxing on the intellect or on the emotion. Then it will be followed by a light scene, something which, some comedy or something, or sometimes a song and all that, to make the mood lighter. So similarly here, Vyasacharya also probably is employing a similar technique of presentation. But these are all very important. Whenever some story or some teaching is done, the teacher should take care that he is not boring the student to death. But different students have got different absorption capacity. Learning is a tapas. But everybody cannot be in the same level so far as the tapas is concerned. So here Krishna introduces this. Even though the overall objective of this fourth chapter is to, as I said, further explore the Advaita Vedanta concept. But first 8 slokas, he is dealing with this Avatara Rahasyam. 2 topics I told you, glorification of the Gita and Avatara Rahasyam. And in this topic of Avatara Rahasyam, in the last class, we discussed 3 main differences between Jiva Shariram and Avatara Shariram. What are they? Karana Bheda, Swarupa Bheda, and Uddesha Bheda. The difference in the cause of the birth or avatara, difference in the nature of the two, and also the purpose for which a jiva is born and the purpose for which Ishvara takes an avatar. And we also saw that the purpose of avatara is dharma samsthapanam, loka anugraham, loka samrakshanam, dharma samrakshanam. And therefore, the design of the body also will be according to the purpose. Swami Paramathananda narrates a very simple, nice story. Because sometimes a bhakta may pray to the Lord to have darshanam in a particular form. Here also later on, Arjuna will tell, I want to see your Vishwarupa form. And Krishna shows him the Vishwarupa form. So similarly, a bhakta may have, I want to see Bhagawad in some particular form. So Swamiji narrates a story that one humble, innocent, sincere devotee went to a temple priest and he asked, in what form should I worship the Lord? This priest is a very busy man. He was very busy. He didn't want to be disturbed. And when such a question is being asked, he got angry because even though he didn't say so, he thought that he was being asked a stupid question. The fellow is in the temple and he is asking, in what form should I worship the Lord? Therefore, in anger, he said, go and worship the Lord as a buffalo. And like in Kathopanishad Nachiketa story, this innocent person took that as a upadesha. Seriously, he took that answer and he started meditating upon the Lord as a buffalo with a big horn. Now, in whatever way we pray to God, we meditate upon God, God will accept that and answer our prayers. And Lord was watching all these things. So he wanted to teach a lesson to the priest and also teach a lesson to the world that the Lord can be worshipped in any form. So one day there was a festival in the temple. And in festival, they take out the Utsava Murti, Utsava Vigraha for a pradakshinam or for a procession, around the town or sometimes only inside the temple also. Normally there are two idols in a temple. One is the one which is in which they do the puja and all that. And there is a smaller idol of the god which is called Utsava Vigraha. That is done puja and all that only on special occasions. Every day also they will take it out and do the pradakshinam and all that. Or temple rituals. So for the pradakshina, the small is taken out and sometimes kept on an elephant with one person sitting and all that. So when these priests, they lifted the Vigraha and tried to bring it out, there was some obstruction on the door and the Vigraha would not come out. It's a small Vigraha, big door, but still the Vigraha would not come out. They struggled, but they could not succeed. So they could not eventually bring out the Vigraham and they could not understand the reason why we are not able to. There's something obstructing the Vigraha from coming out of the big door of the Sanctum Sanctorum. And this innocent person who had meditated upon the Lord as a buffalo was watching this and he told those people, listen, this Vigraham is not coming out because the horn of the Lord is obstructing. It is getting stuck to the side of the door. That is why it is not coming out. They asked, what horn are you talking about? Where is the horn? Then this fellow says, can't you see that Bhagavan is buffalo Rupam and therefore the horn is obstructing? I can very clearly see the horn. Therefore, what you guys do, tilt the Vigraha slightly to the right and then take it out. They did that and the Vigraha came out easily. So the message of the story is that Bhagavan will assume any form for the sake of Bhakta Anugraha to bless his devotees. Devotion should be sincere. That is what is important. So this story, this is again like an avatara story only rather. So Bhagavan takes avatara to bless his devotees, to save the devotees from adharma. So the main difference between Jiva Shariram and Avatara Shariram is, as I said, Karana Bheda. Cause of Jiva's birth is Ajnanam. Cause of Avatara Shariram is Jnanam. Similarly, in Swarupa Bheda, one is a samsari, the Jiva is a samsari, and Ishvara, the Lord, is a asamsari. And Uddesha Bheda, purpose, Avatara is for Loka Sangraha and Jiva Shariram is for Punya Papa Kshayam. And here Krishna tells that since Avatara is not restricted by ignorance, the Avataras know the past, present and future. Avataras are Sarvajnaha. And therefore Krishna says, I know all my previous incarnations, all my previous avatars. Whereas in the case of a Jiva Janma, since ignorance limits the Jiva cannot know what is the past Janma. Also, it cannot know what is the future Janma. And in fact, if you actually look at it, it is a blessing that we do not know what is our past Janma. Because if you go to an astrologer, there are these Nadi Josier and all that, I don't know, most of you must have heard. Tamil Nadu and all is very famous. You go to them and tell them, I want to know my past and all that. They will pick up some, some what they call palm leaf kind of a thing where They will say this was your past. He will say to the husband that you are a cat in the previous janma and your wife was a mouse, etc. Or vice versa. That you are a mouse and your wife was a cat. Whether you were at loggerheads in the previous janma or not, we will not know. But this prediction is enough for a rerun of the Tom and Jerry episode in this janma and also in the coming janma. So the better we do not know the past janma, because so many things we will come to know which may be inimical to our peaceful life in this janma. And also better we do not know the future janma, because present janma itself we are struggling to manage it. So if you know the past and future, there will be only more and more confusion in our life. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Avatara is Sarvagya. Therefore, he knows the past, present, and future janmas. Whereas the Jiva is Alpagya. And therefore, Jiva cannot know the past and future janmas. Even in this janma, what is going to happen tomorrow or the next moment, no Jiva knows. We have seen so many instances what is going to happen, especially when you are in a place like Nana, Nani and all. When you have done with your life, retired and all, senior citizens, some are special senior citizens, they all come and settle down here. I always tell, Nana, Nani is a airport lounge. People are waiting for their flights to arrive. When the respective flights come, they take off. That's what happens. So there's somebody with whom you had lunch together in the afternoon, and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you hear that the person has no longer there. Therefore, next hour, what is going to happen, next moment, what is going to happen, the Jiva cannot know. And so, that's what Krishna says, that Avatara, we know everything. Jiva, you do not know this. Now, there is a question can come. Now, how do you know that one is an Avatara or a Jiva? Because from a body point of view, like Krishna and Arjuna, there was no difference from the visual body, right? What we see. Even in the photo that we see in this thing, no? Krishna is also a human being. Arjuna is also a human being. We cannot make out among the two who is Avatara, who is a Jiva. So question is, how do we know one is an Avatara or not? Of course, in Tamil families, when mothers scold the children, you are an Avatara, you are born to me, Avatara. That they say it in a very condescending tone, rather. So the problem is, there is no method or no way of knowing whether one is an Avatara or which one is an Avatara, which one is a Jiva. The only means of knowledge for an Avatara is scriptural support. Wherever scripture says that so-and-so is an Avatara, we accept that. Ramayana says Rama is Avatara. Purana says Narasimha is Avatara. Krishna is Avatara. We accept all that. What is the proof? Only the scriptures. Itihasa and Puranas are the only proof. And wherever the scriptures are silent about someone, we have no way of proving whether one is an Avatara or a Janma. It is purely our personal belief. We can neither prove one is Avatara, nor can we disprove one is not an Avatara. And as I said, from a Vedantic point of view, it is not very relevant for us to know that also. Because beyond Avatara, beyond Jiva and all, a Vedantin sees only Paramatma in everything, in everybody. So Avatara Atita hai, Janma Atita hai, Jiva Sharira Atita hai will become. That is the vision of a Vedanta. Some people say we can identify the avatars because we see some people having extraordinary siddhis or powers. So from that we can conclude they are an avatar. But then when we study the Itihasa, Purana and all, there were many Rakshasas also had extraordinary siddhis. Then those Rakshasas also will become avatara, isn't it? For example, Indrajit, had the capacity to appear in 10 different bodies or 12 different bodies. He could disappear at will and appear at will. He had that siddhi. He could be in one place and he could be elsewhere also at the same time. Those who have watched the serials like Mahabharata, Ramayana and all, long ago, they would have seen all these things being depicted, all this fight between Rama, Indrajit and all that. He will disappear from one place, appear in one place. Then he will appear in two places at the same time and Rama will be confused which is the real Indrajit, which is the fake Indrajit and all that. Therefore, these siddhis do not prove avatara because even a human being can attain siddhis by following certain sadhanas. Rakshasas attained siddhis by following sadhana and therefore the siddhis do not prove an avatar. Similarly, limitations also does not disprove avatara because in certain avatars, there are certain limitations shown. For example, in Ramayana, Rama is said to be and accepted universally as an avatara, but in the story, we find several things which can be taken as a natural limitation. If Rama was an avatara, he knew past, present, future. Then when Sita was kidnapped, first of all, he should have known that Sita is going to be kidnapped. Secondly, when she was kidnapped also, he should have known where she is being taken. He need not have sent armies in search of her, Hanuman in search of Sita. Because Avatara is Sarvanya. He should have called Hanuman and said, okay, I will prepare for a war, but in the meantime, you do one thing. Sita is in Sri Lanka. She is in this Ashoka Vatika. You go to Ravana, talk to him, ask him whether he will release Sita without any war or battle. If he doesn't, then I will get the army and we'll fight it. All this Rama could have done that. It's Avatara. But he did not do. In fact, when he found that Sita was kidnapped or not to be aware, he didn't know at the time that she was kidnapped. So he went around the forest asking every twig, every tree, every plant, did you see my Sita? Did you see my Sita? He was crying profusely. That is all not an avatara lakshanam. That is a jiva lakshanam. So Rama as a avatara, who is a sarvagya, also showed limitations of a jiva. And reason why that was there, because he had adopted a human being sharira. And in the last class I explained why that Bhagavan Vishnu took that sharira. That purpose was to annihilate Ravana and to overcome the obstacles created by the wounds that Ravana had. Therefore, in many avatars, we find certain limitations. But we have accepted Rama as avatara. And even where there are certain siddhis and powers are there, we talk to them as Rakshasa only. We don't accept them as avatars. Therefore, it is very clear that you cannot prove anyone to be an avatara or not. It is purely based on one's personal belief, and that too based upon the scriptures. Now, one may say, I don't accept the scriptures as a proof of avatara. Fair enough, no problem. Don't accept it. It is not going to make any difference to the avatara or to your life. But whenever Ishvara is presented as avatara, the purpose is that the devotion increases. It is, you can call it an intermediary step for us to see Ishvara, to see Paramatma in everything, in every being. First, at least learn to see Bhagavan in certain beings. Then expand that and learn to see Paramatma in every being. So it's again a stepping stone to Vedanta, Vedantic vision. Otherwise, it's purely a personal belief. So as I said, one great consolation is we need not know whether one is avatara or not for our spiritual growth. In fact, we don't even require an avatara for spiritual growth. What is required for spiritual growth? Only two things: purity of mind. And for purity of mind, worshipping any available form of God is good enough. Karma yoga is good enough. Normally, popularly, 10 avatars are talked about. But only 10. Bhagavata Puranam says, avatara asangyeya. Only 10 are prominent ones. Therefore, the available avatars, as per scriptures themselves, are more than sufficient for getting Chitta Shuddhi by worshipping those avatars, by meditating on those avatars. If I want to accept somebody as an avatara, I can do. If I do not want to accept somebody as an avatara or anybody as avatara, I need not. Because for my purification, I require what? Ishvara Puja, Ishvara Pranidhanam. In Rama form, Krishna form, Devi form, Vinayaka form, any form. So we go from Eka Rupa Ishvara Puja to Aneka Rupa Ishvara Puja, then Arupa Ishvara Puja. Therefore, you do not require avatara for Chitta Shuddhi. If you want, you can have, but it is not a compulsory thing. And the second thing that is required for spiritual knowledge is knowledge. Spiritual growth is knowledge. Knowledge needs a guru. A guru need not be an avatara. Even if an avatara has to bless, the blessing can only be by becoming a guru. That is what Krishna did. Krishna could never ever have given moksha to Arjuna by any other method, or rather I would rephrase this sentence. Krishna could not have guided Arjuna to moksha by any other method other than by teaching him the moksha shastra by way of Bhagavad Gita, by becoming his guru. Therefore, for Chitta Shuddhi, we don't require avatara. For knowledge also, we don't require avatara. Avatara may be there, may not be there. Therefore, avatara, no avatara, what is important for me as a mumukshu is to purify, to know, and be free. And therefore, if somebody talks about avatara, somebody wants to accept somebody else as avatara, etc., we should not criticize. If somebody wants to accept, let him accept, Do not give all these lectures. Avatara is all, only there is no proof for avatara. Don't give all those things. If they want to do it, let them do it. Na buddhi bedam janayet. Krishna said, Don't disturb the belief of the people. If they believe they somebody is avatara, let them believe it. If they believe somebody is not an avatara, let them not believe it. Don't become a guru, unsolicited guru for people. Don't start teaching them all that you know, unless you are specifically asked, like Arjuna asked Krishna. But so far as we are concerned, we all accept Krishna as an avatara. Therefore, Krishna says, Arjuna, I am an avatara, different from you. Therefore, my cause of birth is knowledge, and my nature itself is moksha. And my purpose is what? Paritranaya sadhuna. So, this is the topic of avatara given in this portion. With this background, we will go to the verse. Krishna says, Hey Arjuna, Bahuni Janmani me vyatitani. I have taken many births, many sharirams I have taken, many avataras I have taken. Bahuni Janmani vyatitani tava. You also, many janmas have gone by for you. You have also taken many janmas. So you have taken many sharirams, I have also taken many sharirams. Here Bahuni means, we must understand, the innumerable, countless. So both of us have taken innumerable, countless sharirams. So what is the difference between you and me? Krishna says, Aham tani sarvani veda. I know all my past sharirams. I continue to be a free person. I continue to be sarvajna. Then what about you, Arjuna? Tvam na veta. You do not know your past sharirams. Why past sharirams? There are people who find it difficult to remember some events of their childhood, or for that matter, and found this to be quite common, they don't even remember the names of persons they have met earlier. I am one of them. Therefore, what to talk of past janmas or past sharirams? Even in this janma, we are not able to remember what was there a few years ago, or even sometimes even yesterday. If you suddenly come and ask me, what lunch did you have yesterday? I will struggle. I would not remember. Then I will have to check the menu and all. Oh, okay, this one we had. It happens, Radha. So, Twamna Veta. So, this is what the introduction of the avatara. He says, I am avatara, you are a jiva. And the next sloka, Krishna talks about the nature of an avatara. We will read. Ajopi sannavyayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim swamadhishtaya sambhavam yatma mayaya. The anvaya of the sloka is aham, within bracket, you can supply, because he is talking about himself. So we can supply aham for a better understanding. Aham, within bracket, api san ajaha, avyaya atma, api san bhutanam ishwaraha, sambhavami atma mayaya, adhishtaya, swam prakritim. The nature of the avatara is now revealing. Api san ajaha, even though I am birthless, ajaha means birthless. Avyaya atma, and deathless. Api san ishwara bhutanam, even though I am the Lord of all beings. Bhutanam means all beings. Sambhavami, still I take birth, I appear. Atma mayaya, through my own maya. Adhishtaya, by resorting to swam prakritim, my prakriti. Even though I am birthless and deathless, Even though I am the Lord of all beings, still I take birth through my own Maya by resorting to my own Prakriti. Is the simple meaning of the sloka. So here, as I said, he talks about the nature of avatar. Aham ajaha, aham avyaya atma, aham bhutanam ishwaraha. 3 sentences. By adding aham, we can, the 3 features he is disclosing here. Aham ajaha, I am birthless Brahman. I know my nature. Even though people may celebrate Janmashtami next week, I do not get confused because of these birthday celebrations. I know I am birthless reality. This shariram I am having is a simple vesha, a dress. I have put it on for a purpose. So I know I am ajaha. In fact, the word ajaha has another meaning in Sanskrit. It means a goat. So if you look at the dictionary, you will get confused. Most of the dictionary will not talk about ajaha as being unborn. They will say ajaha goat. So why is Krishna saying that he is a goat? Don't get confused. Na jayate iti ajaha. The one who does not have a birth is ajaha. So that is the first feature. I do not have a birth. Then aham avyaya atma. Avyaya means changeless. Avyaya has got different meanings. One of the meaning is changeless. Because a human being, as we have discussed earlier also, undergoes Shadvikaras, 6 changes. Whereas Ishvara is Avyaya, changeless. So Avyaya Atma. So he says, I am that Atma, the self, which is changeless in nature. It is not subject to decay and death. Jara Marana Varjitaha. I don't have old age. I don't have death. So both birth and death he covers in these 2. Aham ajaha, aham avyaya atma. Ajaha means janma varjita hai. Avyaya atma means jara marana varjita hai. And not only that I am free from birth and death, aham bhutanam ishwara hai. I am the master of all living beings. I am not a limited entity. I am swatantra. I am independent. I am a master. It is not that I take avatara helplessly and come down to this world. It is my choice I exercise to come down to this world. I have chosen to come into this world. And how do I manage to come down, take avatara? Prakritim swam adhisthaya. By keeping the prakriti, the matter, the material body, the maya, under my control, I am born. So I am surrounded by matter. Jiva is also surrounded by matter. I am surrounded by Maya. Jiva is also surrounded by Maya. Difference is I am the master of Maya, whereas Jiva is the slave of Maya, slave of matter, or slave of Shariram. Therefore, Prakritim Swam Adhisthaya. Yes, Swami Chinmayananda tells a nice example. That a child was going along with his father on the road. And a thief was coming, and a policeman was holding the hand of the thief. So the child asked, Father, who is this? Father said, this is a thief. Who is this? This is a policeman. A policeman is required to be there near the thief and hold him, but otherwise the thief will run away. Then, okay, child understood. They went some more length. After some time, the boy found that another thief was going. And there were two policemen with him holding him. And the boy asked, Father, why two policemen? Father said, he is a bigger thief. So two policemen are required to take extra care. Child understood. So bigger the thief, more policemen. So after they went for some more time, the child saw a political leader coming surrounded by many policemen, Z category security. And child being innocent, children normally have the knack of telling the wrong thing at the right time, So the child said, Daddy, Daddy, look, the biggest thief is going because he's surrounded by so many policemen. So that the father had to explain the difference between thief and political leader. Even though, of course, if we were the children now, we will find it difficult to understand. Anyhow, politics apart. But both the thief and the political leader are surrounded by police. In one case, the person is controlled by the police. In other case, one is the controller of the police. Z category security is working under the political leader. So in the same way, I am also surrounded by the body, mind, sense complex. Bhagavan is also surrounded by body, mind, sense complex called Prakriti. I am a slave to this body, mind, sense complex, whereas the Lord is a master of his body, mind, sense complex. Therefore, he says, Prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami. Samyak bhavami. I take this body. How? Atma Mayaya, with the help of Maya Tattvam, by producing a Mayika Shariram. I do not require the intervention of the five elements, the Pancha Bhutani. Because as I told you earlier also, human body is formed by five elements, the Panchabhuta. Before the Panchabhutam, Maya projects this Panchabhutani from that human body is formed. Whereas Ishwara Sharira, without any intervention of the Panchabhutani, directly he uses his Maya Shakti to produce his body. Therefore, he says, I can directly convert Maya itself into my Shariram. And that is why Bhagavan does not require the regular process of creation. Even Garbha Vasa is not required. Even Rama Avatara, not a regular process. And that's why they say the Lord entered into the Garbha. And in the case of Narasimha Avatara, where is the question of father, mother or anything? From where did the body come? What is the method? Nothing. He appeared from a pillar straight away in full-fledged form, half lion, half human. That is possible because it is direct conversion of Maya, otherwise called Prakriti, and therefore Bhagavan says, Atma Mayaya Sambhavami. Then in the next shloka, Krishna talks about the circumstances which impels him to take avatar. It's a very famous shloka made very popular by Mahabharata serial in the television long, long ago. Very popular. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So he says, Hey Bharata, yada yada dharmasya glanihi bhavati adharmasya abhyuttanam, within bracket we can supply cha bhavati tadahi aham srijami atmanam. Hey Bharata, O Arjuna, yada yada, whenever dharmasya, of dharma, of righteousness, glanihi bhavati, there is a decline. Adharmasya, of unrighteousness, abhyuttanam, there is an increase. Tadahi, then indeed, aham srijami atmanam, I create myself. So he says, oh Arjuna, whenever there is a decline of righteousness and increase of unrighteousness, or decline of dharma and increase of adharma, then indeed I create myself. So in this shloka, the purpose of avatara is given. Previous shloka, the nature of avatara was given. Here, purpose is given. The cause is not mentioned here, which we have to supply. What is the purpose? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi bhavati. As I told you, it's a very famous, very popular Mahabharata TV serial. It used to start with this. I remember in my younger days. Because of that, every child knew this shloka. Bhagavad Gita, whether they knew anything else or not, this shloka and the next shloka, every child would have memorized and remember, because every week they would be seeing the Mahabharata serial. In fact, I am reminded of my own daughter who was 3 years old or something like that, 3 or 4 years old. I was working in Canara Bank at that time, and Canara Bank, Delhi, every year they will have a annual day program. Some 500, 700 staff will attend, all over Delhi staff. In a big hall, they will conduct this. So there will be a fancy dress competition for children. And so since I was also an officer, so I said, okay, let my daughter also participate, 3-year-old. So she also participated. And I decided, because Mahabharata serial was being played out at that time, so I decided the fancy dress she will wear is Krishna's dress with a flute. Then I told her, you know this yada yada hi dharmasya sloka, go to the stage and you recite this sloka with confidence. And she did that. Dressed as a Krishna with a flute, she went on to the stage and without any blemish, she narrated yada yada hi dharmasya, the shloka, including paritranaya sadhunam, both the shloka she narrated, and there was a thunderous applause, and she won the first prize in the competition. So whenever I read this shloka, come across this shloka, I am reminded always of that, that the fancy dress competition, against aside. So Krishna says, whenever dharma declines, whenever values decline, dharmasya glanihi bhavati, and adharmasya abhyuttanam bhavati, whenever adharma increases, corruption increases, dangerous, destructive forces increases, tada atmanam srijami, then I create myself. That means I choose to appear in this world whenever it is required. And we can understand this in a scientific manner also. If the world can be compared to a human body, cosmic body, because like a body, it functions in harmony, isn't it? Everything that is there in our body is there in the cosmos. So the entire cosmos functions like an organism. It functions in harmony, and any harmonious system will have its own intrinsic protection device. Like we have the immune system. Any natural healthy system will have to have provision for its self-protection. Why? Because the health of that particular entity has to be maintained. In fact, even for our own body, We do not require any medicine to cure most of the diseases. You ask the doctors, they will say our body has got all protective devices within itself. Even we can observe, we can know this by some simple phenomenon. Suppose some dust enters our nostril or eyes. What do? Our body needs to be protected from this foreign body. So, if it goes into the nose, some dust, we automatically sneeze and dust is thrown out. Similarly, if it goes into the eyes, what will happen? Eyes will start automatically watering to clear the dust. And that is why, you cannot control sneezing and watering of the eyes. These are not actions that we do. They involuntarily happen. We have no free will over those actions. They cannot be controlled by free will. You cannot say, okay, I feel like sneezing. Let me wait. Let me now. Nobody is there. I will sneeze. You cannot say that. Of course, it's a very mild dust or something. Sometimes people just close the nose and blow it or something, though the dust will go away. But if it is a very serious dust, immediately the sneezing, feeling will come. And irrespective of what is around, you will sneeze. The dust has to be thrown out. It is not you, it is the body mechanism which is doing it. The reaction of the body is instantaneous because the system has to be protected. Therefore, a natural system should have a natural protection. And this natural protection faculty will not be operative all the time. It will get suitably activated when circumstances demand. Yada yada hi. Whenever the system's harmony is disturbed, the system itself produces an appropriate remedy. So, if we take the universe as a cosmic system in Bhagawad Shariram, and whenever there is a disturbance, the world itself will find an appropriate method of defending the dharma. It will become active whenever it is required. We are actually witnessing all this. Only thing required is we need to understand why certain things are happening. All natural calamities that we are witnessing today is nothing but the protective phenomenon of the cosmic system. We human beings have actually increased adharma so much, not to a very great extent, of course. Still, the cosmic system is now doing sneezing and watering of the eyes type of thing only. This adharma has not yet threatened the existence itself of the cosmic system. When that happens, the avatara will appear. Avatara is the immunity system of the universe. So, like the individual immunity system, avatara is the cosmic immunity system. Therefore, he says, whenever there is a declension of dharma, and we must recall the definition of dharma, which we saw earlier in the 3rd chapter. We saw that cosmic harmony, cosmic rhythm, cosmic health. That was the dharma. So whether at the individual level or at the cosmic level, every organ is functioning in harmony, then only it can be called healthy. And that's why in Ayurveda, health is defined as dhatu samyam. Dhatu means equilibrium among various ingredients in the body. Ayurveda's approach is that only. Whenever what they call disease is nothing but dhatu vaishamyam. When the equilibrium is shaken, you get disease. So Ayurveda's approach is bring back the equilibrium. Unlike the allopathic approach. That's why they say allopathy is only symptomatic treatment. It doesn't bring back the balance. In fact, sometimes it worsens the whole problem. So bringing equilibrium among the various ingredients of the body is what is Dhatu Samya. Mouth decides to eat more sugar, pancreas decides not to produce insulin. Therefore, there is a disharmony between eating and absorbing. That means there is ill health. Similarly, at the cosmic level also, if there is harmony, it is called dharma, and harmony alone protects the universe. Mahanarayana Upanishad, there is a beautiful mantra. Dharmo Vishwasya Jagatah Pratishtha Loke Dharmishta Praja Upasarpanti Dharmena Papam Anudati Dharme Sarvam Pratishtitam Tasmad Dharmam Paramam Vadanti. Dharma alone is the health of the world, and that alone sustains the world. The word dharma itself is derived from the dhatu dhr. Sanskrit dhatu, that is the verbal root dhr, means to sustain. Dharayati iti dharma. That which sustains is dharma. Sustains what? Sustains the cosmos. And once the orderliness is disturbed, the whole cosmos will be destroyed and we cannot survive. Now they are talking about ecology, environmental protection and all. If there is a nuclear protection, what will be nuclear winter? In fact, Swami Paramatananda quotes, in 1980s, there was an American television film called The Day After. It's a story about a nuclear war between America and Russia, and vividly captures the aftermath of such a catastrophic war. A large number of people will die immediately, and many others will have a very, very slow, torturous death. Of course, we all know what happened after the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Till date, the problem is continuing. Therefore, the only way that human beings, being the largest players, the most active players in this cosmos, can ensure their own self-survival only by upholding dharma, upholding the cosmic harmony, upholding the cosmic health. Understand the nature, understand the Prakriti. Find out what is the equation between the various entities, how the equilibrium is being maintained. Do everything to promote that equilibrium. Do nothing to disturb that equilibrium. And as I said, wherever human beings, because of their greed, they have interfered with the cosmos. Chennai is a great example. Chennai was a city of lakes and trees, whatnot. Beautiful place some 50, 100 years ago, even 50 years ago. Today, what is the situation? One rain, it is not able to stand. Water logging, water entering people's houses. I'm not pointing out Chennai because Chennai comes to my mind. There are so many places, like what is happening in Shimla now. They are saying that the existence of Shimla as a hill station itself is threatened now. So many landslides and things like this have started happening. Houses on the hills are crumbling like a pack of cards. Why? All human greed. We have interfered in the cosmic harmony to such an extent. Now, nature itself, the cosmos itself, slowly it is showing some elements of its avatar. Some elements of the power that it has, the Maya Shakti has got. So we can see an avatara in every deluge, in every landslide we can see is Bhagavan's avatar. Because we have been adharmic so much that vinashaya cha dushkritam. We'll come to that sloka later. No. Adharmic means what? Abhyuttanam adharmasya. In order to destroy the adharmic people, aham sambhavami yuge yuge. They will be born in every yuga. So we will see more in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Namaste. Om.
Namaste, Guruji. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Thank you
very much.
Hari Om. Thank you. Any questions are there? Today Hariji is missing. So he is not, opening batsman is not there. Anyhow. So if there are no questions, no hands are going up, I will close the session with your permission. Is that okay? I need one person to say yes, then I will close.
Yes, Guruji.
Oh, yes, okay.
Looks like.
Okay. So we will meet in the next class. Hari Om. Dhanyavada.
Dhanyawada, Guruji.
Dhanyavada. Thank you.